World peace. It's your brother Eternal T. I am you. You are me. Can't you see? We have a good one today. We are going to be talking about 7 Hermetic Principles. Really, I like to say from Tehuti or Thoth of Egypt. First off, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate it, and I hope you get something out of this, and I hope this translates into something practical for you. I don't share knowledge for just the sense of information, for I am only learning so that I can use things and do things and elevate, but I have to live it. I can't just think it all the way, because think needs to correspond into manifestation. Why would we be here on a 3D plane? I could just stay in the spiritual plane if I wanted to just be thoughtful. So that's a key. Moving right along. The 7 Hermetic Principles are: number 1, the principle of mentalism. 2, the principle of correspondence. 3, the principle of vibration. 4, the principle of polarity. 5, the principle of rhythm. 6, the principle of cause and effect. 7, the principle of gender. All right, now that we got that out the way. These are 7 Hermetic Principles. When you say Hermetic, nowadays, could just mean basically sacred and something also secret in a little bit. Even though the truth is all you will get when you seek it. Nothing is a secret really in this reality, and especially now we're in Aquarian times. Everything's blown out of the water. So it's time to live in truth, and I'm about practice. I wouldn't call this the age of information. I call this the age of truth, because let there be a lot of information, okay? But the truth is what you live. And that just goes right into saying, number 1, the principle of mentalism. All right, the all is mind. The all is in all, and all is in the all. It's actually, if you want to draw that, it will be like a torus. And a painter paints a picture. The essence of that painter is in the character or the very description of the painting. Meaning, if I draw out a character, if I draw 10 characters, I'm going to be present in these characters, regardless of their different personalities. And that's how you say the all, or the creator, is in every single thing. Now, to be more specific about everything is mind, because my mind is the creation of everything. Everything starts with the mind. Everything starts with the mind. Where are you right now? What do you dream? Everything is started with the mind. What does that mean to you that the all is mind? It means to me that we are capable of anything on this planet, anything in this universe. What we dream, we can be. And what you are has everything to do with all the thoughts, emotions, the belief system that you have been thinking of since, like, 2nd grade. Just to throw out a random time and place. I mean, yesterday brought you to today, basically. I mean, the way you think and feel, your belief systems have led you up to this point. Now, changing your belief systems, the way you think, is going to actually change the way you act, the way you feel, and ultimately change your condition of life, your state of being, and your environment. So, from a practical standpoint, start thinking and believing things a little bit differently, and just changing things one at a time. We can do that with affirmations. Money comes to me easily and frequently in large amounts, and through multiple sources. I like to say that I heard that from Bob Proctor. and different people doing different affirmations, and it's like you start to feel a different way about money. You start to lose, a little stress about money. And even though all is mine, and this is more of an esoteric situation, principle, and everything what I'm going to talk about, it has to be practical. It has to correspond with the physical. So I can't leave that out, and that's one of the most physical attachments that people have is money anyway. So that's why I'm going to try to relate things to money. And the way you think about money is the way money will present itself to you. And so you can try that for a while, or just relationships. I attract loving and open relationships. I attract loving and accepting relationships, and just have something as an affirmation, and just try to change the way you think about certain things, and see what you start attracting, the type of people you start attracting. Try not to limit it too much to a certain being or a certain look. Try to be more open as into feeling and the energy and the thought and really how it feels. So when you think, try to attach emotion to it rather than the eyesight, the physical, because the physical has so many different ways of presenting itself. But if you want to backtrack a little bit, what I said was the correspondence, which is number 2, the principle of correspondence. Everything has to manifest. The mind has to manifest into physical reality. It just has to. That's a law. It is what it is. It just has to. That's so easy. As above, so below. You've heard this many times in your life, I'm sure. And if you're new to that, pay attention to astrology. Very simple. When you go deep into astrology, Vedic astrology specifically, or just really learning about ascendant and moon signs and different types of, and understanding that the Western way of horoscope is not it's not complete. So then you can get more specific, and then once you start doing that, you'll be like, okay, now I get what they're saying, and I see how everything's manifested into this realm. But everything has big worlds, have smaller worlds in it, and everything must correspond, even with the thoughts of your thoughts and emotion corresponds with how you view the world. So just take a step back and try to think about what's going on with you. How is it manifesting? How does it correspond? How does your relationship with your concept of the all correspond with your relationship with the concept of your parents? Think about that for a second, because a lot of people refer to the all as mother and father and separate genders or whatever, but or just keep it, the all, the creator, because it's above gender, it's above sex, it's above all that. It's actually the manifestation physically is such a lower state than the all. It can't have a just masculine or just feminine aspect to it. And but just think about your relationship with what you call the mother and father, and then how your parents are, and just think about that, how everything corresponds. So that's a good way to start. I love that. Now, number 3, vibration. These are real keys. Vibration. Everything is in motion. Everything is energy. And a lot of modern science points to that when it comes to all this quantum theories and stuff like that. Even Stephen Hawking, before he left this plane, said that he actually called the quantum field, or the space in between me and you, the ether, he called it the God field. So, understand that everything is in motion, everything is vibrating. And what seems to be solid is actually moving. Literally, you were in science class and we're thinking oh, okay, you have the nucleus, you have electrons, neutrons, and I guess ions. I don't remember. I'm not into that field anymore. I don't study that as much as I used to, but just get the point. And everything's rotating around the nucleus. All right. So if everything's rotating, that means every single thing is moving. That means everything has a nucleus. I mean, is it just living things, or is it plastic, or is it everything is moving. The tree is supposed to be solid, but it's vibrating. Everything is moving. Everything is moving. What's solid is not actually solid. It's just a very condensed form of energy, and moving very slow. Even like a wheel moves so fast that it looks like it's still. And that makes me think about like how this globe is, or even if I don't even understand if this place is a globe, a dome, or a flat plane, but it doesn't really matter to me because it's not really helping me out. So I don't really spend that much time on it. But say if it was a globe, that kind of explains it a little bit. Something spinning so fast that it feels like it's still, or it seems to be still. If anybody wants to comment on that, please don't waste your time commenting. I'm just saying that to make a point. Anyways, so everything is vibrating, everything is moving. How could you use this? How could you use the principle of vibration? Your state of being is only a flash. It's only a glimpse. Something happens. It causes an emotional reaction, possibly. But is it only a flash and a glimpse? You can choose to be whatever state you want at any given time. Nothing is still. No circumstance is still. You can change things. You can change your life. And figuring out how to do that is up to you, and takes some thought, may take some meditation, a little wonder, imagination. But let go of things and try to just take yourself out of the reality for a second, out of all the needs of life, and just be a child for a moment. Just be a child for a moment and just experience the tree that's in front of you. Just experience the grass. When's the last time we just picked up some straw and played with it like a child? And just like it, you know what I mean? So when you're able to do that with your mind, it's easy for me to go there because I'm childlike. But use your imagination. These are master tools. These are master keys. Everybody should know these by middle school, or should I say by high school. We should learn these in middle school. We should be practicing in these in middle school. Number 4, the principle of polarity. And everything ties in together. If you can see, you're going to be able to see that very, very clearly. Polarity. Nothing is actually opposite. What seems to be opposite are actually extremes of the same exact thing. Or should I say, different degrees of the same state or the same plane. For instance, hot and cold. When does it become hot and when does it become cold? Exactly. And really according to who? Because one animal species, a polar bear, is still a mammal, and they live in freezing cold temperature. And but what does that feel like to them? Point being, they're on the same pole. It's on the same pole, hot and cold. It's just an extreme of one. You get less cold, you get less hot, or you get more hot and you get more cold, if that makes sense to you. How do you take that and apply that? What seems to be a bad situation can be easily reversed into a positive situation. Understanding your own pole, your own vibration, your own energy, you can transcend anything. It's about transcending. It's about transmuting the energy. That's what the master does. So how could you use this to your advantage? Well, think about it. Apply it to your everyday. The things you think are mundane can be so joyful. Let's try to take the annoying thing of washing dishes, the annoying thing of doing clothes, and just apply gratitude to the situation. You're literally changing the pole. The polarity of just being what is boring is now exciting, because you're so thankful of the fact that you do have clothes to put on your back. You know what I mean? The fact that you do have dishes to eat on, and utensils to use for cooking, and you have a kitchen, and you have heat, and you're getting rid of bacteria and whatnot that you want to do. You can stay clean. So that's the power of the mind, and the mind is going to tie into all of that. The all is mind. Everything, the principle of mentalism. So your state of mind is going to affect every single piece of this, your life. It is, and if you heard of a man is what he thinks, a man becomes what he thinks. There's so many quotes out there that you can find on your own. I'm more of a intuition and like just come off the top of my head. I can't really remember people's quotes too much, but I understand it. So research all these things. See what they mean to you. See if they're true. See if they're false. That brings me to the next one. Number 5, rhythm. The principle of rhythm. Everything has its in and out. Everything has its up and down. If everything's vibrating, have you ever seen a wave form on paper or digital? And it goes like, you have like the line, then you have the up and down curves or whatever. That's pretty simple. Everything has its in and out. Everything has up and down. And I remember a Lauryn Hill speech, and just basically she said that you never lose your learning. You're only learning, and then you win. And then you go through a learning process, and then you win. And that's basically up and down. But she's a master. She sees that as a learning. She's not seeing that as, I lost, damn, I gotta start over, and it sucks right now. And that's what it takes. The mind. Once again, my favorite story of the flat tire outside. You wake up in the morning, you see that flat tire, and you say, thank you. Thank you that it's outside right in my driveway. I appreciate it. That's the rhythm. Things go up and down, just like a car in general. It's very great. It's new right off the lot. And then something goes wrong because nothing lasts forever. And then you fix it. And you go back up. Everything's working good. And then you have a flat tire out of nowhere. And you're like, okay, well, let me get the flat tire fixed. And then everything's riding smooth again. Oh! You see the oil change. Oh, man, I got to get the oil change. Oh, okay, that's technically going down again. And then you're going back up because everything's riding smooth again. That's just how it goes, man. Finding a way to be positive about the situation is the master. So, simple as that. I mean, I don't have to stay on this one too much. It's pretty evident. Cause and effect is number 6. Principle of cause and effect. I've understood this one since I was very, very young. And a lot of this reminds me of the word responsibility. A lot of people react to things or to other people. And a lot of people see a reaction of a reaction. They punch you in the head. Now, what do you expect? You get punched back in the face, and you think to yourself, I can't believe this person punched me. Well, buddy, you caused, that's a direct cause and effect. You hit me in the head, a reactive state would just punch you right back in the face. I don't know if you're trying to hurt me. Seems like a threat. So I have to destabilize you, buddy. And so you're on the ground now, wondering why I hit you. Because I said I was nonviolent. But I do defend myself. So maybe I had called you something, or I said something that was what I thought was truthful that hurt your feelings, or you felt insecure about, and then chose to let your emotional state go down, match that vibration of what you suspect I was giving out. So you reacted and punched me in the head. Well, don't get upset that I punched you in the face. Everything is cause and effect, and maybe I was the cause of that in the first place. So, all that going together, there's no necessarily right or wrong. All there is cause and effect. Understanding that, maybe you would have said, even though I feel a certain way about this is unnecessary. And maybe that person, I have the real insecurity. Maybe that's why he's saying what he's saying. But that cause will be something else. There will be an effect that he must experience, because I make my own cause and effect. I am not the victim of cause and effect. I understand it. Therefore, I can rise my vibration above cause and effect, and I can use it to my advantage. And I can say, you know what? Use my response ability and say, I'm going to respond differently. I'm going to consciously say, that's yours. You keep that. I have respect for myself. Maybe it is something I need to work on that I brought up. Maybe it is, but maybe it's not. Nonetheless, your words do not affect me. I don't know how clear that was, but that's my understanding of it. And that's the way I rise above certain situations and also use it to my advantage and cause positivity. Yeah, I like that one. So that brings me down to number 7, the last one, gender. Now, the principle of gender actually deals with generation and regeneration. But if you want to think of it, it's not so much sex, even though everything has its masculine and feminine, but it does remind me of that, because when it was years ago before I even came into the principles per se, knowledge of this. It was like me and Ashley, that's Pretty Hippie on YouTube, plug, Pretty Hippie on YouTube. All right, anyways, we were just joking and talking about like how everything is related to sex, you know what I mean, and how everything that creation is basically sex. I mean, and not in a perverted way, but in a just a thoughtful way of like thinking that, you know, plugs, you go, you know, something plugged into the wall, it's in, like that's a source, but to create this power, this for something to actually happen, you turn the iron on, and you want that iron to be hot. You have to plug it into the wall. You create that energy. That's like a sexual energy, and then it transmutes, and then the iron's hot. So it's cool. And then it's even simply like walking in through doors. On the outside of this door is a totally different world for me. Even walking into my house, it's literally like a sexual activity of going through a portal and being into a totally different creation. And that may be far-fetched for some people, but it's not that way for me. And if you could just, you know, play with these concepts, it may open up your eyes a little bit, you know, to what's going on. But as far as creation goes, that's something I'm understanding in all the way is the aspect of gender. Not gender as in sex, but generation. Because if the all is mine, the all is above gender, which means does it have no sex at all? Or is it just both? But the all will be above polarity. That's why gender would be on a very low scale. But at the same time, the male and female parts are actually the same. The clitoris is literally the penis, and ovaries are like the gonads. So, if you get the book Kybalion, that's Kybalion, and that has a lot of way more thorough explanations and maybe practicalities or different perspectives of seeing that gender and seeing these different principles all together. It might help you out a little bit more. But at the same time, it's like everything has its place in creation. It's like when I listen to music, the beat, I think, captures the conscious mind, and it makes you vibrate immediately. And then you listen to the words. So a lot of people don't even listen to the words. They only listen to the beat because it feels good. But the words go into your subconscious. See, the words are like the masculine, and they go right into the subconscious, which is the feminine. The beat would be like the feminine. Think of a beat. I mean, music seems such like a feminine aspect. And now when I say feminine, that doesn't mean female. But understand, it's such a feminine aspect of flow, and that just goes right into the conscious. Sometimes I choose to listen to little pieces of the beat, pieces of the instruments, and you could just get stuck on one while there's words being in the background you're not even listening to, and you realize once you turn it off, a couple hours later, you're singing the song and you don't even hear the words. I mean, you don't hear the beat anymore. So that's pretty cool how they go together. All in all, I'm still learning, and I really hope that I may have sparked your mind, imagination, creativity, and that you get something out of this, and it makes you want to just go learn more about it or practice these things. And I say these things so that we can all practice together. I'm not the master looking for students. I am the student expressing and sharing with other students of this master class that we are in called life, called the 3D manifestation. And I'm just being 100% me, the full version that you can love and that I can love. So it is your boy, your brother, Eternal T. I am you, you are me. Can't you see? Look, I love you. World peace. Like, subscribe. I hope you got everything you wanted out of this. And my greatest reference was the Kybalion. And check that out. And happy waters, you know? Peace.